Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture Podcast. This is Jeremy again. Thank you for joining me today. So, just jumping right in it, no matter what or where you come from, greatness can come from you. So, why, why this statement or quote or whatever? I have a bad habit of picking up different notebooks and different cool looking, I don't know, books or whatever to take notes in. I I've got them all over the place. Wasted no telling how much money on, you know, some, and then I'd find something I think would be better, or I don't have that one, so I use something else, and it's just a mess. And so I finally decided to find something that was big enough that I could use it for quite a while, and that was, you know, cool enough or whatever enough that I'm going to be happy with keeping it. So got something off Amazon and have spent probably the last week just trying to consolidate everything into this book. And looks like almost 40 pages worth of it right now. So I think I'm pretty close to caught up with where I'm at. I'm sure I'll find, something else later on. But as I'm going through there, I also can't help but think about, well, maybe I could discuss this on an episode, or this is really, well, this kind of really speaks to me, so I want to share a little bit about this, or this is when this idea came to me, and all these different stories and reasons for sharing some of this information. And so just started kind of jotting down in, of course, another little notebook, some ideas out of this book that we could talk about. And I wanted this to be the first one of this because I feel like it's it's very, very important. And when I say that, I've always ended the shows, or at least going way, way back, with stay humble and do work. And I love that. I still love it, especially the do work part. For some reason I've just grabbed hold of that years ago, and really enjoy that phrase. But just as in books and just as in movies and everything else, you get to other chapters. You grow, you change, and I feel like maybe this is the time to kind of change that. And so I feel like of everything that I've found in the book so far, of things that either were important quotes or something that just screamed at me that is important, or something that I kind of came up with that is a really, a good idea or whatever. There were a few that I kind of just wanted to pick from, and so this to me, I think, is going to be something that I feel really, really good about ending shows with. I'll say it again: no matter what or where you came from, greatness can come from you. That's something that we all need to remember. I think that there's so many things out there that hold us back. Most of them are really circle back to us, if not all of them. It's about perspective. It's about mindset. It's about positivity and perseverance. And whatever it is, they always seem to come back to us. And you know, this is something that I've discussed with one particularly of my kids here lately. Well, really a bunch over the past several years. But any one of us can find an excuse any minute of any day not to do something, or to justify doing something we shouldn't. Excuses are they're so plentiful, and It's just up to your imagination to where they end. Because, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for an excuse, it's not hard to find. And so, that's something that we all, to varying levels, need to work on. Some of us, we're doing pretty good with it, but we still fall back on it every once in a while. Or some of us, man, it's just something that is eating us up. It's eating away our momentum. It's eating away our ability to change our life, to make better habits, whatever. This is a big deal. And there's another layer of this as well, and it it feeds back into where you came from, how you were raised, the family you're from, the environment, the city, the all of these things. There's so many different variables that we have all experienced independently from each other. And really, this statement, to me, it says it all. It doesn't matter where you came from. It could be the best possible situation of any child ever. Well, there's probably still some negatives there. Or it could be the worst possible situation of any child ever. And yeah, it's going to take an enormous person with incredible strength and perseverance and willpower and courage to overcome that. But both ends of that spectrum and everywhere in between, we were made to do great things. I don't care what the argument is for, yes, it's going to be easier for so and so to make it, or to do better in life than so and so. Okay, I understand that. But to me, the only thing that matters is why we are standing here right now. And why we are standing here right now is for great things. That's it. God didn't make us and put us here just because he wanted more ants in the ant farm. He gave us unique gifts. He gave us unique talents. He's allowed us to go through unique challenges that have, you know, refined us and changed us, made us stronger, made us smarter, so that we could do these special things, could do these great things that He has sent us here to do. And so that's where I go to when, this type of thing is brought up. Again, I'm not arguing that people in a lot better situation, younger off, have a better chance to make it out there and than people that were not well off. But to me, it doesn't matter, because if we truly use the gifts that God has given us, we are going to do great things. You know, but it requires us to go a lot farther than we believe we can. It requires us to carry more weight than we ever thought we could. It requires us to broaden our circle, to bring in good, strong, loving, whatever people that we can bounce back and forth the strength and the love and wisdom and all those things. But we're all given that. We're all given our own unique set of those things. And if we aren't using them, then again, it just goes back to us. It goes back to what excuses we are choosing to use. There's a story that goes right along with this. I have no idea if it's true. I'm sure it's not, but it doesn't matter. But just summing it up, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but so you've got two brothers who grew up in a family with an abusive alcoholic dad. And how the story goes is I believe there's a writer he's trying to do some research on, how different siblings grow up, even though they were raised in the same environment. And so he somehow comes upon these two brothers, and one brother is successful, and he's doing big things, and doing just is just going so far and beyond what he was raised in. The he's changing the family rhetoric. He's changing everything about the direction his family is going. And then he finds the other brother, and the other brother is a mirror reflection of his dad. He's an alcoholic. He's abusive to his family. He can't keep a job, blah, blah, just whatever. You get the picture. You got one brother that has just blown the roof off of life and done amazing things, even though he was raised in a really bad environment. Then you have another brother that was raised in the same environment who has not done anything, who has really become the person that he hated when he was younger. And so, what is the most impactful thing about this story to me is, so the writer asks each brother, what made you able to get here, or what made you who you were, or who you are right now. Sorry, he asked you. Let me say it again. He asked them, why is it that you are who you are now? And so the older, or the brother that's been successful and done so many great things, he said, well, my father was an alcoholic and a abusive father and husband. And so I had no other choice than to do something different than that, because I did not want to be that person. I did not want my family to have to live with what I live with. And so he goes and asks the same question of the unsuccessful brother. And what the brother said was, well, I grew up in an abusive household with an alcoholic father, and I had no choice but to become the same thing because that's how I was raised. And so, if anybody's ever heard the real story, I completely butchered it, but hopefully, I shared enough of it that you get the point. You have two people raised in the same environment, a very unhealthy, not great environment. But you have one that looked at that and saw that that is not what I am going to be when I grow up. And I will do everything I can to not allow these things to happen to my family in the future. And then you have one other brother that says, this is just how I was raised. This is all I know. I don't know any other way. I was raised like this. I was treated like this by the people that were supposed to love me. So this is all I know now. So I don't I don't know any other way to do it than this. But what is that? It's just the unsuccessful brother using excuses, because he was not willing to do the things that the other brother did. He was not willing to push himself as far as his other brother. He wasn't willing to step outside of his comfort zone. He wasn't willing to make sacrifices and feel the pain of growth, and the uncomfortableness of just getting outside of what you know. He wasn't willing to do any of those things, and to make himself feel better about himself and the life he's lived, he blames the environment that he grew up in. And so I think there's a lot to really think about right there. I think there's a lot that we have to sit down and see where we're at. I think that those of us that have come from some of those environments that are not great environments, man, just think of how much even more of a testimony you have, how much of an even bigger blessing you can be to people's lives because of what you've overcome. And so that's what we got to focus on. Why are we here? It's not to feel the pain of a bad family and feel the pain and regret and everything else that comes with it if we turn into the exact same thing that we hated as a young child. That's not why we're here. We're here to make things better. We're here to make the world a better place. And even if that's just making somebody's day, one person's day, a little bit better, or even if it's just kind of brightening up your small circle, whatever it is, that's why we're here. So just wanted to share that just to kind of maybe get things going in a little bit different direction sometimes than I go, and I hope you got something out of that. I sure have had a lot of things to think about in that area, things that I need to drop the excuses for, things that I need to really just step up and you know take responsibility for. So that's the thoughts for today. I really appreciate your time. Thank you as always. Please like and share and all those good things if you got something out of it. I'm here to reach and be a blessing hopefully to as many people out there as I can, and that requires a lot of work from you all. So I appreciate ahead of time all of that. Thank you. And like I am going to say now, remember, no matter what or where you came from, great things can come from you. Thank you all. See you next time.